it's also interesting because Chairwoman Green, I understand, now regrets voting for this bill, as she mentioned yesterday. Is that correct, Chairwoman Green?
Are you yielding me time?
No, I'm just asking if you, I think you say now you regret voting for the bill. Is that correct?
The bill actually destroys what you guys voted for the past 4 years, and I'm proud to have voted for that bill to fund border security,
actually,
to
Chairwoman Green,
deport all these illegals you guys let in the country.
Chairwoman. Chairman, yesterday you actually said that you regret actually voting for the bill. You posted after Elon's tweet that you didn't know certain provisions were in it and that you would have voted no if you had known. And so obviously you didn't do a thorough review of the bill. And I'm not surprised, of course, that Republicans in this Congress are now going back and forth on the bill.
In the absolute least surprising turn of events since, well, events started turning, Congresswoman Green, whom I'm so sorry to have to subject you to yet again, turns out to be a hypocrite. And maybe an illiterate hypocrite, if you can believe it. Look, I don't know if she's experiencing some level of advanced memory loss like some of the other corpses shuffling around our crypt of a Capitol, but you try to square what she said about the big, beautiful bill in this next clip with what she said about it in the previous clip. Take a look.
I'll state it very clearly. I'm pro-humanity. I am not pro-transhumanity. And when it comes to AI and regulation, when we get to vote on this bill again, I will be voting no because of this clause, and we will be working on this further. Thank you so much.
Same Congresswoman, same bill, different vote. You may ask yourself, what would cause such a distinguished intellectual individual like the Honorable Congresswoman here to suddenly start flip-flopping like a catfish? Surely the powerful men and women, and whatever the hell Marjorie Taylor Greene may be, that we send up there to represent us, surely they do their due diligence before they comment on bills, and definitely before they vote on them.
Congresswoman, you say in full transparency you didn't know that this was in there, and now you're shining a light on it. How did you not know that it was in there, and how'd you find out about it?
Well, we don't get the full bill text until very close to the time to vote for it. And so that was one section, that was 2 pages that I didn't see. And I'm being very transparent and honest about it with everyone.
Being in Congress is hard. They make you read stuff. And then you gotta vote on the things you read. No one said they'd be reading. Yeah. But anyway, let's not be too hard on Congresswoman Green. She merely made a minor oversight. She can't be expected to read everything she votes on. But speaking of oversight, let's check in on the chairperson of the Oversight Committee, which is the committee that's supposed to be paying the most amount of attention to the federal government so they can, perform oversight. Let's see if James Comer did his job. The answer may surprise you.
Mr. Chairman, as I read it, your bill is giving the congressional authority to the executive to do it without Congress.
No. That's not true. You're misinterpreting the bill.
Can you please point us to the language in the bill that retains Congress's authority?
It requires a privileged resolution in Congress.
Can you please point us to the page and the line number that requires congressional consent for reorganization of the federal government?
Sections 908 and 909. Of Title V.
Which this bill amends. Which this bill is amending. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Section 908 says striking December 31st, 1985. Can you please refer to the language that retains Congress's authority under the United States Constitution to rein in the executive to stop it from eliminating unnecessary duties, reducing federal employees, amending rules and regulations, and eliminating executive departments, agencies, independent establishments, offices, or officers of the executive branch.
James Comer is asked about a specific portion of a bill that he sponsored, which gives the president the keys to the federal government, basically, and wraps up congressional authority on a civil platter and just hands it to him. He sits there like an idiot, waiting for someone who actually did read the bill to provide him with an answer, only for them to point him to the wrong section because they probably didn't read it either. And this is his bill, mind you. These people are in charge. But wait, he does have a defense for himself.
You're intentionally misrepresenting the bill.
Mr. Chairman, I'm reading the bill, and
No.
I'm asking you as the
Read the bill.
sponsor to point to us where your bill, which you are trying to pass through this committee today, retains the authority of Congress.
It changes the date to 2026.
Shame on you, Congresswoman, for reading the damn thing. Don't you know your job as a Congresswoman is to fundraise and occasionally show pictures of Hunter Biden's junk on the floor of Congress? None of us read the bill, so stop bothering us with your questions. There's no wonder that James Comer sponsored a bill that hands away so much congressional authority over to the president. He's tired of reading stuff. If he just gives over Congress to President Trump, he doesn't have to worry about which bills say what. President Trump will dictate to them what federal law is, and they won't have to worry about what's up and what's down. Because oversight is so damn exhausting. You know, this is the problem that occurs when you have an authoritarian in charge of your party. It disincentivizes independent thought. If Donald Trump says vote for a bill, that's what you do. It doesn't matter what's in it. If Donald Trump says go out there and justify my crazy tariffs, that's what the hell you do. You go on national television and you embarrass yourself. Let's watch Howard Lutnick try to do that very same thing.
What's the tariff on bananas? Americans, by the way, love bananas. We buy billions of them a year. I love bananas. What's the tariff on bananas?
The tariff on bananas would be representative of the countries that produce them.
And what's that tariff?
Generally 10%.
Correct, 10%. Walmart has already increased the cost of bananas by 8%.
But as countries do deals with us, that will go to zero. As countries do deals with us, that will go to zero.
But the cost is on the American consumer now and on the businesses with the confusion now.
Would you mind if I make one quick comment to the representative?
Sure. Please.
There's no uncertainty if you build in America and you produce your product in America, there will be no tariff.
We can't
so
produce
the concept
bananas in
of
America.
building in America and paying no tariff is very, very clear.
We cannot
Fighting for
build
imports
bananas
is
in
not the
America.
Oops. The Commerce Secretary here is given a very tight script by our authoritarian president, but apparently didn't account for bananas, which is bananas in and of itself. But the nonsense doesn't stop there.
I have a few other examples that I would like your thoughts on, simple yes or no. If this is a legal DEI, an example, would you say that it would be an illegal DEI for a lesson plan on the Tulsa Race Massacre?
I'd have to get back to you on that.
Do you know what the Tulsa Race Massacre is?
I'd like to look into it more and get back to you on it.
Okay, so I look forward to that. How about the book Through My Eyes by Ruby Bridges, for instance?
I haven't read that.
Have you learned about Ruby Bridges?
If you have specific examples you'd like
That was a specific example.
I'll be very happy.
It was an incredibly specific example. I named a specific book.
I can't wait for Secretary McMahon to get back to us on whether or not it will be illegal to learn about Ruby Bridges in our schools under this administration. Donald Trump has filled his administration to the rim with sycophantic yes men, some of whom are pretty competent individuals like Marco Rubio and I guess Linda McMahon here. Some, not so much. But all of them are afraid because Donald Trump has a zero tolerance for any form of deviation with his line of thinking. So you must go out there and regurgitate exactly what he tells you to, unquestioningly, regardless if it makes sense or not, regardless if you agree with it or not. With this breed of Republican, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the James Comer, the Mike Johnson, the Lindsey Grahams, there are absolutely no checks to Donald Trump's power. And they couldn't care less because thus far the victims of it have been immigrants, black and brown people, women, and the poor. And all of them are rich and powerful. That's because Republicans are not for you. They're for whatever random crazy thought pops into our mad king's head at any given moment. Buckle up, kids. It's going to be a bumpy ride.